Hi, welcome to the Dr. Ali Show. My name is Dr. Ali Mendelson, and every week I'm going to be talking to you about your health, about how to get your health back. If you're healthy, about how to stay healthy, about how your family can stay truly healthy and live a long, amazing, healthy life. That's really what we all want, and there's nothing more valuable than your health. Right? There's nothing in your life that's more valuable and more important than your health and the health of your family, your children. So every week I'm going to be covering topics related to the 5 essentials of having an amazing, amazing, healthy life, and talk to you really about how to transform your life so that you can take this information and put it into use in your life. Take action on it, because information is great, right? But if we don't do anything, then it's just a lot of words, isn't it? So there's always going to be some action steps. Now, some people take things a little slower, and some people take things really quickly. I have patients who make huge changes right away, and I have other patients that may take a few months to make changes, and they make them slowly. It doesn't matter. Either way, whatever works for you. As long as you're moving towards being healthier and your family's moving towards being healthier, that's really what's more important than that. That's all we can ask, right? So the 5 essentials of having an amazing life are: number 1, having a positive attitude, a true positive attitude, and having a healthy brain. Number 2 is having a healthy, functioning nervous system so that your entire body works properly. Number 3 is really understanding nutrition, what's good, what's not good, and having good quality nutrients. Number 4 is exercising. And it's not just exercising a lot, it's exercising properly. I'm going to teach you how to exercise properly. And number 5 is minimizing the amount of toxins you get in your system. And again, we're going to be talking about action steps. Every month at my office, I do free workshops, at least one a month, and covering these topics. When you can come to my office and hear it, and even get more personal advice and more action steps. But I promise to give you some good action steps. And so while I can't cover all the 5 essentials each week, I'm going to pick 1 or 2 or sometimes 3. And you can always call me if you have a question about something I say. If there's something that you want me to talk about on the radio, you can send me an email. You can call me. My number is 888-522-3331. That's 888-522-3331. If you want to send me an email, you can go to my radio show website, which is drallieshow.com, and that's DRALLIESHOW.com. So it's Dr. Ali Show. You can send me an email. You can listen to old radio shows. Whatever you need. Have a question, ask me a question, whatever you need. Really, this is just about you and your health and how to have a better quality life. On that note, I'm going to talk about having quality life. I'm going to talk about something that, honestly, this is always a problem: headaches. Headaches are always a problem. I've been in practice for 20 years, and headaches have always been one of the biggest reasons why people come in. And one of the biggest things that really causes people to have a really low, poor quality of life, really interferes with your life and gets you tired, and you can't play with your kids, and you can't sleep, and it's hard to function. It's hard to really do the things that you want to do. And really, this has been a problem for 20 years. Recently, I've had a lot of calls about headaches, and I just want to let you know a couple of things about headaches. One thing is that 5 out of 6 people get headaches. So don't think that you're suffering alone, because you're not. 5 out of 6 people get it. It's a huge problem. And another thing about headaches that you should know is that just because they're so common, like I said, 5 out of 6 people get them, doesn't mean it's normal. It's not normal to have a headache. You should never have a headache. And again, that's not to say there's something that you're not normal if you get headaches, but there are so many things that you can do to get to the cause of your headaches. So the problem with headaches, 5 out of 6 people get headaches. People just think, well, it's just normal to have headaches. I guess I just have to live with it. I don't know what else to do. I've tried everything. And you just kind of decide that you're going to live with it, that you're just going to suffer through it, that's just what your life is going to be like. And so most people, they just kind of accept that and make the best of it. You know, it's good to make the best of a bad situation, But the problem is you can get better from headaches. But what most people do is they go to the doctor and they get medication. And so the medication will like mask the headaches. It will manage the headaches. So you may be getting headaches every day and you'll take an aspirin or you'll take a Tylenol, whatever it is that you're taking. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Even if you take an herb for it, it's still like feverfew. Some people take feverfew for their headaches. Even if you're taking something like that, you're still managing the pain. So you never really want to manage pain, right? That's like saying, I want to learn how to manage poverty, right? No, you don't. You want to learn how to manage your finances so that you never reach poverty. And it's the same thing with pain and with headaches. You don't want to manage this. You want to get rid of it. You want to learn how to manage your health so that you don't get headaches. You don't want to take a pill every day to kind of get rid of your headache or make it a little bit better for a few hours so you can kind of function even though you know it's coming back. Again, this is how most people a lot of people spend their day. Most people, 5 out of 6 people have headaches. Not every day, but I've had a lot of people over the years with daily headaches. So you don't really want to kind of hold it down or push it down or take a pill. There's so many problems with that. One problem is that the pills that you take, even if they're over the counter, they're going to have side effects. It's going to affect your kidneys. It's going to affect your liver. It's going to cause liver and kidney damage and failure if you take these medications long enough. And that's just not acceptable. Another thing that happens with these pills, unfortunately, is they cause rebound headaches. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that. You can Google that, rebound headaches. What happens is you take the aspirin or you take the Tylenol and your body kind of gets a little addicted to it. And so you're taking this every day for these headaches. And what happens is over time, you end up getting a headache because your body wants you to take this pill. So you get a headache so that you take the aspirin, and then you take the aspirin and the headache goes away, but then you get the headache so that you take the aspirin. So I know it's kind of confusing to talk about a rebound headache, but it's proven. It's been researched in the medical community. Again, Google, you can look up rebound headaches and get a little bit more information on that. And then you're stuck. Then if you have a rebound headache, you think you just have a headache. Meanwhile, you have a headache because your body's become like addicted to one of these over-the-counter or prescription painkillers. And the headaches aren't going to go away until we get to the root cause, right? So you don't want to live with it because you can't live a good quality life with that like that. I know you just can't. I'm not personally somebody who suffers from headaches, but I have had a few headaches and I find them debilitating. I can't concentrate. I can't think. I have a hard time eating. I get stomach aches. I get a little short. I have a hard time. I can't play with my children. I just have a hard time just really enjoying things. And every time I've gotten one, honestly, maybe once a year, I don't get that. I've never gotten headaches, but like maybe once a year I'll get a headache and I just feel so bad when I get them for people who have to live like that every day. It is just heartbreaking to think that people live like that. It's just so, I guess you get used to it when you have it, but my gosh, you don't have to live like that. You don't want to cover them up. You don't want to just get used to them. You don't want to take a pill that's going to destroy your kidney, liver. So then what do? Right? What you do is you get to the root cause of the headaches. Now, there's always different causes to headaches. What I do in my office, and I'm going to invite you, if you have headaches, to come into my office and get a consultation. And I have free consultations. The first 10 people who call me every week can come in this week for a free consultation. And we are going to figure out exactly where your headaches are coming from, why you have them, and what you need to change in your lifestyle so that these headaches can go away. Many of the times it involves a nervous system. I'm a chiropractor. We take x-rays. We find out if there's any bones crushing the nerve or the spinal cord in your neck. So yes, of course, that would definitely cause a headache. So we look at that. I'm going to look at your diet. I'm going to look at the toxins in your system. Maybe there are allergies. Maybe there's some kind of a supplement you're missing. Maybe you're eating too much inflammatory foods. There can just be so many things. But the point is, You want to get to the root cause of your headaches, because when you figure out the cause, you can get rid of the cause, and then you don't have headaches anymore. And that's not something that I'm just saying. That's something that I've been doing this for 20 years, and people always get better. I've had people come in who've had headaches for 40 years and they go away. And it's so amazing for someone to have their life transformed like that. It's like you get your life back. You're like, man, I wish someone told me about this 35, 40 years ago, because no one, you don't know. And sometimes you feel funny, like if you have a headache, you've gotten better by maybe you're one of my patients, you've gotten better. You're like, well, I don't know if I want to tell anybody, I feel bad. You just tell people, like, listen, you have headaches. This is something that you can do. Again, that's one of the reasons why I do this show, because a lot of people really don't know. They're suffering and they have no idea. You have no idea there's something that you can do. So if you have headaches and you're interested in coming and getting checked and figuring out why, please call me. My number is 888-522-3331. Again, that's 888-522-3331. Or you can send me an email. My website is drallieshow.com. That's DRALLIE show.com. And that's my radio show website. You can send me an email, you can request something, whatever you want. But please, please call me if you have headaches. So I just want to tell you like one story. I probably have like 100 headache stories. But honestly, the headache story that always like inspires me to really do this show, because I've done a lot of shows about headaches. And every time I do another show about headaches, I always think about my friend Dave. And he has an older brother, Dan, and they live in Florida. Their father suffered with migraine headaches for their entire life, really. So he was 7 years old, and he dove into a lake, and there was something on the bottom of the lake, like a cast iron tub. He ended up hitting his head. Thank God nothing broke. He didn't break his bones in his neck or anything, but he did end up with headaches starting from the time he was 7 after that. And so what they did was they did what everyone does. And and if you do that, of course you're doing that. Why would you do something different? You don't even know. So he does what everyone does. And he took pills. He took aspirin and he took Tylenol. He took so many different medications. He tried everything. He tried every different kind of medication. So for about 40 years he suffered, because by the time when he was 47 was when the big change happened. But up until that time, my friend Dan and Dave and his brother Dan and Dave, they just remember their father sitting in a dark room a good part of every day. On the weekends, he couldn't play ball with them most of the time. He would just have this horrible headache. Their kitchen cabinets looked like medicine cabinets with all the pills. He would go into the kitchen and he would take aspirins out of the bottle and crush them with a spoon on the table and pour it into water and mix it, and he would drink that all day. And it's horrible. And so Dan went to chiropractic school because he heard I don't remember, it's Dan or Dave. They look so much alike too. So he went to chiropractic school because he hurt his back, and the chiropractor helped his back. He didn't know that it was for anything else besides for back pain, right? So maybe some of you are the same way. You don't know that a chiropractor can help anything except back pain. So anyway, that's what he was under that impression. And he started going to school, and really I think it was a second semester in school, he learned really how the body functions and what controls the function of the body. Your brain controls the function of your body. Your brain sends signals through your spinal cord, out your nerves to all your organs, and runs your entire body. And when you're talking about chiropractic, we don't deal with back pain, although it gets better. We don't even deal with headaches. They get better. We always deal with getting a healthy nervous system first. That's why it's one of the essentials. Because if you have any pressure or pinching on your spinal cord, not only are you going to have pain, but your organs aren't going to function properly. The same nerves that go to your head and cause a headache go to your heart and can cause a heart attack. It's the same nerves. So you want to make sure that you don't have symptoms, so that you know that your body's functioning properly. So Dan learned this, and of course was even more worried about his dad, who was at that time 47, had headaches for 40 years. And he knew, whatever's causing his headache, if that nerve that's causing his headache for 47 years is causing interference to his heart, then my father's going to have a heart attack. He was freaking out, and he was terrified that his father was going to have a heart attack if he didn't get to the root cause of these headaches. So he went home, and his father had never been adjusted. No one had actually ever told him to go to a chiropractor. And he said, please, let me just, he was sitting in this dark room with his head, and this poor guy. And he said, please I'm just going to adjust you. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to adjust you. And he walked over to him, put his hands on his neck, adjusted the top bone in his neck, the one that surrounds your brainstem. And within probably 3 minutes, his headache went away. The one that he was suffering with, he had just taken some aspirin. He had one of his headaches that he got every day, and it went away. And it never came back. It literally, he gets adjusted regularly. He drives 2 hours to see his son in Florida every week to get adjusted. But after that first adjustment, his headache didn't come back. It didn't come back for days. And when it came back, he adjusted him, and it went away again. And he was able to get him off of his medication, all of it, everything that he had taken. He was able to get him out. Now he has, I think he has 4 grandchildren now that he runs around with and plays with, and he has a life, because someone found the cause of his problems. And like I said, he drives down to see Dan every week to get adjusted. And the amazing thing is, unfortunately, he got off his meds, he got off his aspirin. He still has kidney damage, unfortunately, that will never be reversed because of all the aspirin that he took. But he was what Dan was afraid of was a heart attack, but what his father was really headed for was kidney failure because of the medication. If he hadn't adjusted him and hadn't got him off that aspirin, you never know which aspirin or which Tylenol would have been the last one that caused his kidneys to fail, and he would have been on dialysis for the rest of his life. So the quicker that you get to the root cause of this, the better. Maybe nothing wrong now, but let's make sure that we know exactly what's going on with your health so that we can prevent something bad and give you a better quality. That story always gets me. I have so many stories like that. I have so many stories of patients that have had headaches. And it's funny. So sometimes I tell a lot of people this story, and I tell a lot of people a bunch of stories. And I've had patients who are like, okay, one of the first things people have to do sometimes, it depends. Everyone's different. Most people have to change their diet in some way. Most people have to get adjusted. Most people have to look at what they're cleaning their house with and their care products and their toxins and whatever. But most people really have to start getting off their medication because a lot of headache can be rebound. And so when patients start doing this and they, it'll be a weekend, and this has happened, I can have my husband come down and give a testimonial, and it'll be a weekend and someone will call and say, okay, Dr. Allie, I will not take medication for my headache, but my head is pounding and it's killing me. And honestly, I just talk them down. There's little things you can do. You can put peppermint essential oil on your head and wintergreen oil, and you can use lavender on your feet. There's a few things that you can do, and I can tell you what those things are to help you manage the pain. But what always happens is by the end of that weekend, even before, sometimes a couple of hours after they talk to me, is that the headache will just kind of go away on its own. And the body then learns to deal with whatever's wrong without the pills. So they start getting adjusted, they start changing their diet, they start detoxing, maybe exercising a little bit more, a little bit differently. And once you start feeling better, my gosh, it's so much easier to change everything. When you're in pain and when you're suffering, you just want comfort. You want comfort food. You want to sit on your couch. You want to do what comforts you. Of course you do, because you're in pain and your head hurts and you're pounding and you're suffering, but when you start to feel better, and what I've seen when people really start to feel better, when I started, I was like gung ho, like, you have to do this and 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 you have to do it all now, like right now, so that you get better. And it gets very overwhelming, and it gets hard. It's like, okay, my head hurts and it's pounding and I'm not allowed to take my pills and I have to eat kale. And I'm just kidding, not everyone has to do that. And I can't eat sugar and I have to exercise, and like overwhelmed. And of course, after I've been doing this now for 20 years. So that was the very beginning when I was all like gung-ho about doing everything right now. I didn't realize, what really works. What really works is let's start getting rid of your pain first. And let's get you some pain-free days. And let's get these headaches maybe not gone immediately, although some people's will absolutely go away right away. Not everyone's does. But when you start to feel better, people will come to me and say, I'm ready. I want to do something more because I'm feeling better and I can't imagine ever going back to the way I was. I want to make changes. You get energized. When you have no pain, it's so exhausting to have pain. Oh my gosh, it's so exhausting to have pain. Like, I don't think that you realize sometimes when you suffer from headaches, how really exhausting it is and how it really is taking away from your life. It's exhausting. But when that pain starts to subside and when that pain starts to go away, you just have energy. And most people will be like, all right, I'm ready. I want to give up coffee. I want to give up smoking. Like in whatever whatever one you're ready for. I want to start eating better. How do I eat better? What do I do? How do I exercise better? I mean, it's just like a positive cycle. You know how like people say it's a downward spiral? You start doing one thing bad and then another thing happens because of that. And then it's a downward spiral. This is the opposite. This is like an upward spiral. Your headaches start to get better. You don't need as much medication. The medication starts to get less. You start to feel better. You don't have as much pain. You start to feel better, then you start to get hope. And when you start to have hope, you start to have more energy and you start to really want to do things for yourself. And you want to take a time that you have for yourself and do good things for yourself. You're like, people will start to cook, or will quit smoking, or will join a gym, or whatever it is they want to do, because they really feel like hopeful that they can get better and that their life can be better. And it will be better. And so please, if you're suffering from headaches, call me. My number is 888-522-3331. Again, that's 888-522-3331. My name is Dr. Allie Mendelson, Dr. Allie, and I'm in Farmington, Connecticut. I'm right off of 84. Like close to West Hartford. So I'm not like in Farmington. There's not a whole lot of traffic to get in there from 84, especially in the afternoon. I'm in Farmington, like closer to West Hartford. And you can go onto my radio show website. You can send me an email. You can listen to my old shows, whatever you need. But my radio show website is drallieshow.com. That's DRALLIE show.com. Again, it's DRALLIE show.com. And again, send me an email, whatever you need. I'll give you my number one more time, 888-522-3331. The first 10 people who call me every week just come in for a free consultation. So if you're suffering from headaches, if you know someone suffering from headaches, call me right away. I'll call you back. We'll get you in. We'll see exactly what's causing your headaches. Again, also can be, in 20 years, it's always partly nervous system because most people just have never learned how to take care of their nervous system. They don't know how their body functions. They don't know that, a good pillow to sleep on. You don't know good posture. Don't know what kind of good exercises to do to help. You just have had, people have had trauma. Even when you're a kid, you could have had a trauma and causes headaches now. Like Dan's dad hit his head when he was 7. At 47, he was still suffering from daily migraines. So there's always like some kind of nervous system involvement in there. But also there's a lot of times it could be food allergies. A lot of headaches I've seen have involved artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners that's a whole nother show and a whole nother day. I cannot cover that in a few minutes, but I will talk a little bit about it because it's it's one cause of headaches that I see a lot. It's not the only one. I don't have people stop taking artificial sweeteners or headaches go away, but it can help. And so what happens with artificial sweeteners is because they cross the blood, some of them cross the blood-brain barrier, and they can start causing toxicity in your brain. And I can tell you what to do to get rid of that naturally as well. But stopping eating them is the best way to do it. You don't need artificial sweeteners. I'm talking about Equal, Splenda, aspartame. Those are the big ones. The good sweeteners that are healthy, that are alternative sweeteners, are xylitol and stevia. But you have to make sure people think Splenda is okay, and it's not. And so I've seen headaches with people with headaches who really, they drink a lot of Diet Coke, whatever it is that they're doing, whatever, the yogurts, would be thinking that's okay for them to do that. And they have to get off of that for their headaches to go away. It's not the only thing, but it's one of the big ones. So if you're doing that, if you know someone drinks a lot of artificial sweeteners, give me a call and I can tell you what you do and where you get the stuff that's alternative, that's natural, that doesn't affect you. Artificial sweeteners also, incidentally, doesn't help you lose weight, because you know what causes weight gain, which we're not going to talk about today. I have 2 minutes, is insulin. If you have sugar in your blood, your body releases insulin, which takes that sugar and shoves it into your cells and stores it as fat. That's what causes you to get fat. Not eating fat, but eating sugar. Here's the thing. Artificial sweeteners will trigger your body to release insulin. Insulin goes in there, stores that artificial sweetener as fat. So there's no difference. Except now, instead of sugar, which is not good in and of itself, but it's probably better than artificial sweeteners because they're toxic chemicals. So now you have toxic chemicals in your cells, and you don't have, there's no weight loss associated with that. You may think there is, and so maybe you have less of an appetite sometimes, you think. Maybe like a mind thing, your mind's playing tricks on you, which is fine if that works, but not when there's artificial sweeteners around. So it really doesn't, when I'm talking about xylitol and stevia, those sweeteners that are natural do not trigger your body to release insulin. So no insulin released, no sugar stored as fat, right? And so again, there's just a lot, there's a lot of information out there. I'm going to, again, try to get you as much as I can, as clear as I can. But if there's anything that you really want me to talk about, please call me. Tell me what you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about it. Next week, I'll probably talk about weight loss resistance and nutrition. So again, if you're suffering from headaches, if you know someone suffering from headaches, give me a call and let's try to figure out where it's coming from and why. My name is Dr. Allie. My radio show website is drallieshow.com. That's DRALLIE show.com. My phone number is 888-522-3331. That's 888-522-3331. Really, the major action step for today is to just call me. First 10 people will get free consultations this week at my office. After that, we can get people in probably next week. But the first 10 people can come in this week and we can figure out why they're having headaches, where they're coming from, and start working on getting rid of them. So thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful, blessed day.